How's everybody doing out there? I figured I'd make this video here. And I was watching another video on YouTube and I can't believe that's all it was. But if you look now, my temperature gauge is working now. Finally got it working. I know it had been unplugged for a good while, and I thought I knew which wire it was, and of course I was right, it was the green one. And if you take that green wire and you touch it to ground, if that needle right there goes all the way to hot, then the gauge itself is good. So I went ahead and put a sending unit in this truck here. I'll show y'all real quick, because I had this aftermarket temperature gauge that I've been running for a long time, because I'm kind of particular about that. I'm not driving a truck that doesn't have a temperature gauge. This truck's never gotten overheated or nothing, but I'm just not going to chance that. So I put my new temperature gauge in right there, and I run a wire to it straight down here, and this is the wire. This green one right here, I had to add it and extend it a little bit, but it goes all the way down there to that sending unit right there. I had an old temperature sending unit, so I put that in. And when you turn the key on, I've been running this truck's warm. It's to go over, so we're turning our key on here. As you can see, it's moving. So it's working. And I love that. Fire going up there. And that is nice. Actually, I have temperature gauge. The factory, you got the original factory temperature gauge working again. I'm really happy about that. Really happy. So now, almost all my gauges work now. My temperature gauge works now. My oil pressure works. Fuel gauge works. My speed works. The only thing that don't work is the miles for some reason. I had to check into that. It's not the cable, it's got a brand new cable, and it's not that, it's actually in this speedometer itself. So they're the miles, and this gauge right here is the only two that doesn't work. But I know it's charging. I had a voltmeter on it and I took it down the road. Of course, it's charging. It's got about 14.5 volts, so it's charging perfectly. It's just the gauge. And it's probably the same thing. I probably just need to run a wire to it. I'm really happy about that. Now I got almost all my gauges working again. Because when I first bought this truck, none of these gauges worked. None of them. My fuel gauge didn't work. My oil pressure didn't work. Well, I'll take it back. The oil pressure worked. The oil pressure worked, and the speedometer worked, and that was the only two that worked. I'm happy about that, though. That's what was going on with my Ford. I was looking up a video about my Ford, and just a simple fix like that. That's all it is. So it's been unplugged that whole time for like 2 years, probably longer than that, because I've had the truck for 2 years, and then of course the truck sat for Lord knows how long before that, and somebody just cut the end off and had the wire laying up there, and it ain't worked for a long time till recently. So I finally plugged it back up and put a new temperature sending unit back in it, and now it works. So I'm happy about that. I'm gonna have to get in here and fix this speedometer though, because I wish the miles worked, because the miles don't work no more. Because what happened this last winter, the miles kept working, but the speedometer didn't. So I put this one in here out of a junk truck, and now it's the complete opposite. The speed works, but the miles don't. So I don't know what's going on with it. But I'm gonna check into that, because I want to fix that, and then I'm gonna go down here and fix this DC gauge and try and get everything working like I want. Try to get everything working again on this truck. Cause I like this truck. It needs a lot of small work done to it. It's running and driving wise, it's fine. It's just the body on this truck is just rough. Really, really rough. That's the only part about this truck I don't like, is the body on this whole truck is just eat up. It is just rotted to pieces. I mean, the rocker panels are shot, the floors are shot, the floor braces under there are shot. Plus the roof up in here is starting to rot out. It's just an old beater truck, really, is all it is. And I gotta get that door for that side, because that door on that side it's screwed up, because I bought that door off a junk truck, and the truck it was off of, it was wrecked, and it actually mashed in the fender a little bit and pushed that door back. And then when I tried to straighten it out a little bit so I could put it on this truck, because the door that was on it before, both doors were just rotted to pieces. So I put these doors on. I got a good driver's side door. I just need a good passenger side door. But I pulled that off a wrecked truck and put that on and straightened out as best I could so I'd have something on it. Because that door was a lot better than the other one. But I still need to find another door, because that door is just, it's screwed up all in there in the jam. Because the truck that it came off of is wrecked and it's still screwed up. I tried to straighten it out as best as I could. It's actually crushed in where the hinges bolt. I'm really happy about this. I'm glad that temperature gauge works now. That makes it nice. Now I can take my aftermarket gauge out and not have to worry about it now. That's nice to keep old stuff like that, because I've had that c10 unit. I probably got 3 or 4 of them, and I just figured I'd throw it in and put it on and hook it up and see what happened. And now it works. There y'all can see it. Working perfectly. That gauge has worked the whole time. It's just been unplugged and just needed a c10 unit put on it. I couldn't figure out. I thought it was something in this cluster itself. I thought the actual gauge was bad, but no, it wasn't. I'm glad that's done. Now I'm gonna work on getting my speedometer fixed here. I want to get that fixed. Probably just order a new one, because you can buy all that stuff new, but I probably will have to buy that speedometer new. That's alright. I put a new c10 unit in it for the fuel tank. I had to replace that. That's why that wasn't working before. Then I had to put the temperature c10 unit in it, so I had to replace that. Of course, the oil pressure, really, there's no way that can really go bad, because that's mechanical. That's got a little copper tube that goes from the back of that gauge to the behind the intake, where it's a oil pressure fitting on there. The oil pressure really can't go bad. I guess it could, but I doubt it, because that's mechanical. Only thing about this truck, I don't think, I wish it had a clock. Because I was wondering if that's what this gauge down here was for. I think it was an option back in to get a clock. I wish it had one. I just like it because it's original and it looks kind of cool, because it's kind of rare to see a truck that actually still has the clock in it. I know the squares bodies, you could get them on like that side. I just can't believe that. I can't believe that temperature gauge. That's a nice Monte Carlo. I just can't believe that that's all that was. Still gotta do a lot of work to this truck. I gotta replace the front wheel bearings on it, and I need to get the 2 new front drums and all the self adjusters for the front and rear brakes. The ones that are on here, they still work fine, but I was wanting to replace them. And I gotta replace the one cable, the parking cable in the middle, which I already have. I just need to put it on. I got a lot of parts for this truck I ain't put on yet. Anyway, I just want to make this little video here. I'm real happy about that. Hope y'all enjoy the videos, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.